Welcome to the BallenIsles Annual Art Expo. 84 artists from BallenIsles have produced this spectacular work of arts, 160 pieces for you to enjoy.
Walking into this show, I want to show you some wonderful pieces. We have great artists here in BallenIsles, and they've been working very hard for a long time. Meet Shelley Wallerstein. He is artist excellence. This is a girl, I have no idea who this girl is, but she's there, she's ahead, and she's introducing you to our art show. Next to Shelley is Paula Kind with a beautiful piece of wood sculpture. Let's continue on. We leave this wonderful piece of sculpture, and we will, next piece, this is all the artists. We had 84 artists here in BallenIsles who participated this year. I think we had 160 some odd pieces. This is a beautiful bronze head by Eva Cadrone. She's a lovely lady with a beautiful brimmed hat. Over here, we have Renee Frank, which is a very unusual four-piece. If it were three, it would be a triptych. I'm not sure what a four-piece is called. But it's done on a computer, designed, and then Renee puts it together and makes a wonderful piece of art. Below her is Tanya Wetzel. Very different, very unusual, very structured, very designed and exact. Here is one of my favorite pieces, Stanley Goldberg. Stanley took a picture of this man, I don't know where, but you feel his compassion, his pain. Look at his face, it just talks to you. And we're so happy to have the photography in our show. Photography has become such an important part of art in this generation. Let's walk on.
Hi, I'm Eileen Mandel. I am a sculptress. I used to do marble sculpting for 10 years, but then I had back surgery, so I had to find something else that I wanted to do. And of course, I love working with my hands. And I also made another piece down there, which is another glass fusion piece that you fuse and you slump. And that was made up with many, like 5 layers of glass, and it becomes a bar. And then you take it with the saw and you cut each one and you put it into the dish, you fuse it, and then you slump it over some kind of mold. And I made it a round mold because I wanted a platter. So I hope you enjoy looking at it as much as I enjoyed making it.
Here's another piece of Stanley Goldberg's work. It's a beautiful, beautiful structured piece of artwork. Look at the design, look at the highlights on her face and on her feet. He's gotten every moment, and you know that she's beautiful, and knows her craft very well. I'd like to move you to my piece. I did this piece. It's very big. It's a palette knife. I must tell you, I fell in love with the palette knife. It's just a wonderful media to work with. It's oil paint. Last year, I saw Ginny Papalato's paintings. Ginny's painting looks to me like a palette knife, but it's not. It's brush.
My name is Dr. Murray Gordon. I am a retired general and vascular surgeon. Some 30 or 40 years ago, going through the operating room, I found where they were throwing away all the dull and obsolete surgical instruments. So I started collecting these instruments and welding them and making different items that I put into these exhibits. And this particular one is Look No Hands. Now, this is an old proctoscope, and this is an anoscope, and this is part of the stethoscope.
Let's walk on. A new form of art recently has been jewelry. Rita Jacobs is a member here. She has been doing jewelry, unique jewelry. These are her two pieces. She has the Kishi pearls, which are hard to find. She has other Baroque pearls on this necklace. She also uses acrylic, which she imports from China. Her gold thread is crocheted, and therefore she gets a totally different effect than most other jewelers. You won't see this other places. So Rita's been a great addition to our show. This is the second year she's been showing. Let's move on to watercolor. This is called The Gathering. It's a watercolor. The watercolor, when you look at it, you say, it's just color. But when you really look at it, you see the figures with their arms. See the figures? It's just done beautifully, and you get the suggestion of a group of people meeting and maybe having lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever. And this is Shelley Wallerstein again. He's the one we saw up in front as we entered. He does such a beautiful job in his paintings. I'd like to be his model, but I think I won't make it. Let's go on. Let's go on to photography, because photography is really beautifully done here in BallenIsles. There's a photography club. They're very active, and they worked very hard. Here's photography of two donkeys. I don't know, why would you take a picture of a donkey? But look at these two. Aren't they wonderful? You just want to take them and hug them. At least I do. And so that's Jean Bolton. That's my painting again with the palette knife. And let's move on. Here's another, Rodney Cole. Rodney Cole is our resident photographer. He's always on the water in BallenIsles. He gets the most beautiful pictures and always presents them at the show. Rodney also has published a book on his birds of BallenIsles. It's a beautiful book, and I would encourage you to take a look at it. Above Rodney's picture is a watercolor landscape by Bobby Joseph. No relation. She does beautiful watercolor. This shows you, I'm not sure where this is, it just calls it a landscape. But look at the technique, the small little brushes with watercolor. So difficult to do, and she does it so well. Moving on, we have Diane Mittenthal, who has done this. She calls it her artist studio. I don't know if she paints in this house. I don't think so, because the truck looks kind of old. But look at the technique, the light and the dark. It's so important to get the proper light and dark on a painting. That really makes the painting sing. Then our artist par excellence is Claire Gilson. Claire has been doing this decoupage ever since we opened the show. She has done the most exciting work. She takes, let's look at this. It's a boys' basketball game. And she takes several magazines, 5 or 6 or 8 of the same image, and starts to cut them and cuts them and puts them in 3-dimension. It's just magnificently done and beautiful. And you look at this kid, he's yelling at them, "Why aren't you getting that basket? We need it." And it's just wonderful. This is a Vitello copy sort of image, big fat Fanny. And this also is done the same way with many, many pieces of the same magazine cut up to give you that 3-dimensional look.
My name is Charlene Stiglitz-Gordon. My welding really consists mainly of objects that I find. So I'm always utilizing things that have been thrown away or not used. This was an old bicycle, and I used part of the bicycle parts here. These are the gears of it and different parts. And this is called the juggler. So what I do is I weld the pieces together. I look at them. This reminded me of intestines. This reminded me of a face. This was the arms of the handle of the actual bicycle. And then I found these round pieces, and to me it started looking like a juggler. So that's what this is called, the juggler.
It's definitely a team effort through all the staff, from the committee members. The housekeeping comes through behind us as well, and they'll take care of the lobby and clean up after our any incidental messes we make along the way.
We have a lot of other art here. We have more jewelry, more photos, more paintings. Please come and visit the show. We will be here next year. Also, I must thank Bernie Levine. Bernie Levine is instrumental in putting this show together. He does an enormous amount of work, very quiet, very soft and easygoing, and he does a great job. So Bernie, thank you for the last 13 years.